But then from there, you mentioned obviously the 7 million in a single year.
So that came in 2021. That was my 7th or 8th year trading.
Yep.
So to run you through that story, 2019 I made $1 million something. 2020 is when I had the $500,000 loss, but I walked out that year, I think making 2.1 total for the year. But also in that year, crazy part, 2020, 2.1, 2.2, I don't know exactly, but somewhere around there. 1 month I made $1 million, which was February of 2020. I made $1 million trading, right? And by the way, once again, people are gonna watch this, the Forex people like, oh my God, he's lying and yada, yada, yada. TD Ameritrade is what I traded on. They're a regulated broker, right? I have videos on my Instagram, me logging into the broker, not a screenshot. It's not like because I know with Forex people have things where they'll adjust and do stuff and whatnot. I learned that the hard way. With TD Ameritrade, you can't do that. With a lot of these regulated American brokers, you can't do that, right? So I made $1 million in February of 2020, and then I ended the year at 2 million. So that just shows you, like, in 1 month I made 50% of the profits. But that also came from that downside period of me losing $500,000 on that one trade, going through like a downfall mentally and whatever, and then slowly recovering towards the end of the year, right? Now the $7.5 million year, majority of the money I made came after August, July and August. So I maybe made about $4 to $5 million from July till December. The first 2 million came on the first 6 months of the year. Now, the way that happened, and this is what I always tell traders, is that trading is not something that's linear. Meaning, if you make 100K in January, let's say you make 10K in January, doesn't mean you're gonna go and make 20,000 in February, or you should make 20,000, right? The market conditions in January may be extremely good. The trading environment may be great. Going into February, that may change. So it's harder to kind of expect or assume the same opportunities, right? Depending on the trading, yada, 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 right? So for me, the first 6 months, I was close to $2 million in profits. And I thought I was going to close the year at 3, maybe 4 with the pace I was going at. And then it was August of 2021 where I took a trade on a firm. And the crazy part is before I took the trade, I tweeted about it. I put it out. I'm taking this trade. And that trade, I think the first trade made me 700 grand. So I took the trade, made 700 grand. And that built momentum. Then I took another trade, made me $500,000. Took another trade, 80K, another trade, 60K. Now, because I made such a large amount of money in August, I kept that momentum and size going into the next month. So the next month I was able to make $1 million. And the cool part about that was, because my risk was so inflated, I was able to take the size. Now, one thing I want to be clear on, because I don't want to throw people off and have the false expectations, the trades I was making that I made, let's say $500,000 on, I wasn't risking $5,000. I was risking like 150, 180,000. Like I was risking some size.
1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to
3 to
4.
1. Like the good trades, like the good trade, I probably had like 4 to 1, 5 to 1. I had like 8 to 1 trades too. And it was just kind of like, it's going in my favor. I took some size off, just let it keep riding. Oh man, it's moving way more than I thought, right? And then my risk for September increased. Now, day trades I was taking, I was risking 30,000, 40,000, making 100, making 120, making 150, maybe making 80. And that went on for like 3.5 weeks. And then I got to a point where I was like, hey, I'm doing good and I have a lot of momentum, but let me take a step back.